What's up, guys, from the MLG Studios here in New York City. I feel a little weird being on the left-hand side, but Nick has been casting for literally 20 hours straight, so we decided, you know what, let's give him a break. And he's eating a burrito out there, having a good time. So, guys, I'm Axel Tosh, joined by Sham2, who is kind enough to come on and give us some breaks. And also, we have a special guest on the line by the name of Chris Lee, a.k.a. Illusion, from Team Mouse Sports. Illusion, what's up, man?
Hey, I'm pretty tired because I played Claymore really, but I'm feeling good.
Did you win?
No, we lost 4-5 to Caronte, aka Lucifron, but it was a close match.
A.k.a. Lucifron. I see what you did there. All right, well, it's great to have you on board. Of course, we're going to have you helping us commentate and analyze Jaedong versus Center. Of course, a best of 3 that should be pretty epic. Let's go and get to game 1. It's going to be on Daybreak. And here we are in the top right-hand location. We got the Red Zerg player from Team Evil Geniuses. He is Jaedong.
And spawning down here in the bottom left-hand corner, our blue Terran player, it is Center. I love that little icon. The 3 little stars, I think they're so adorable. It's just one of those things I just have to point out.
No, yeah. That's a good point. Now, Illusion, did you happen to catch Center versus Zenio?
I caught the Ohana game. He was playing really, really well.
I like how you called it Ohana. A lot of people miss.
Oh.
No, it's fine because a lot of people make that. It's actually Belshir Vestige, but we get what you mean.
Yeah, I just played a game on Ohana. I think that's why. Like I literally just played, so that makes sense.
Enough.
But yeah, it was a lot like the GSTO game between SC and I forget the Zerg, but it was SC was playing it when he all killed, and he was just attacking everywhere, dropping everywhere. It was really fun to watch.
Medivacs everywhere. So we know that Center is pretty good at this game. The question is, can he take out Center? Of course, guys, we are in a best of 3. The winner of this match will advance on to the next round, and the loser will be out of this qualification tournament to get into the Premier Division. Of course, speaking of the Premier Division of WCS America, Illusion, you already have a spot. So who would you rather have in your group, Jaedong or Center?
Probably I'd actually go with. Actually, I would go with Jaedong. I would rather have a Zerg, to be honest. I'm sick of playing Terran vs Terran nowadays. Hellbats give me too much trouble, even if I see it coming.
That's true. Hellbats have become quite a chore in Terran versus Terran nowadays. But, I mean, would you rather go against Hellbats or would you rather go against the legendary Jaedong? That's the question here.
I think it's just to be able to play him.
I think the TVZ matchup right now is heavily in favor of Terran. Like I wouldn't mind going up against another Zerg. Like after seeing the SC game and the GSTO, like just kind of TVZ made a lot more sense to me. I feel like I can play versus any Zerg, even if it's a top 3 Korean, and still go toe-to-toe, whether it's win or lose, but still provide good games.
Oh.
So we have
I feel like if I play
down.
versus Center, I would just get destroyed from one cheesy build.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Speed coming down here pretty early from Jaedong. He got that gas pretty early. It was one thing that I was following pretty closely, but he did stop pretty much most of his Vespene consumption. Went down to only just 1 worker.
Yeah, and you know, having seen the game against Zenio, I would not be surprised at all for Center, the Terran player, to go for a strategy that really revolves around getting to that late game and then starting to incorporate those drops. Now, Chris, you mentioned you know, your kind of recent enlightenment as far as the TVZ matchup. What's your typical go-to as far as the matchup is concerned?
Right now I've been experimenting a lot, but what I've been experimenting now, which is kind of my go-to, is what SC was doing. He was going for really quick 3 orbitals and only taking 4 gases, the ones in his main and his natural, and then build command centers, barracks, a lot of bio. And what happened in Wings of Liberty was you couldn't really go pure bio because there's no splash damage or anything, but with mines, it's only 25 gas and you can zone out and gain position with it. So adding the mines helps a lot, and you can pretty much do anything with that type of composition.
Especially on a map like this, where we saw Flash versus Roro, I believe it was a couple of weeks ago on SPL, and you see, you know, Daybreak, pretty much the same exact situation, but with so many drops, the Zerg just can't deal with it. There's so much of a gap between all of these bases, especially between the 4th base, that it just, like, even running your Zerglings back and forth, just Roro couldn't deal with Flash's drops in every single corner. 3 different drops at the same time. And that's the kind of play I think we're going to be seeing out of Center, definitely.
Yeah, but he has an armory coming up, so it's definitely got to be a Hellbat drop. And actually, I haven't seen this from him yet. I don't know if it happened when I wasn't watching, but it's kind of cool to see him doing different styles.
Hellbats are good. Hellbats are pretty good. If Nick was still here, he'd be going on a minute praise about him. No, but you know, we'll see what kind of damage can be done here. Of course, it's going to be up to Jaedong to identify that this is happening, and then, of course, getting the appropriate defenses in place. Now, the Roach Horn is about halfway done, it looks like, so he will have the ability to make, you know, 4, 5, 6 of those. He could potentially make a lot more and go for some pressure, but 18 Lings in production at the moment, trying to retain map control. But, you know, we'll have to see what Jaedong does against this Hellbat drop. I don't think he's spotted it just yet, but it's one of those things where you're kind of going to know when those medevacs are going to be out, so that's when you're going to start worrying about potential drops like that.
And, you know, we were watching last game, Sasquatch was getting taken advantage of because he went for those roaches and he went for that Hydra, and he just couldn't jump back and forth fast enough to deal with those drops. And if he's going for roaches yet again, I don't know how well he's going to be able to deal with these Hellbat drops. Here comes the other 2 Hellbats now from the factory. The 2 medevacs are already ready to go.
We have a Nidus from Mr. Jaedong here.
Good spot there, and at the main ramp.
Yeah, I kind of like this build from Jaedong. It's really aggressive, but he has full saturation on both his bases, so it's not really all in. It's just really, really heavy pressure. He focused on economy early just to get really heavy units out, and these 2 Hellbats, or these 4 Hellbats, I should say, they're scouted right now. They shouldn't be able to do any damage once the roaches come out.
And the roaches are on their way out. Nidus Worm detected. Wow, really nice observer features coming out here from Blizzard in Heart of the Swarm. Gives a huge icon for exactly where that Nidus Worm's going down.
Here come the Hellbats going straight to that mineral line. Jaedong starting to run those drones away. Almost a money shot on the drones, but plenty getting out alive. And remember, Jaedong made a lot of roaches to go for this pressure, so he's going to have a lot of army here to be able to defend against these Hellbat drops. And I don't think that didn't do a whole lot of damage at all.
That didn't, and now there's all those roaches, all the Hellbats and medevacs that he spent so much money on are going to be completely useless as they're across the map, as all these roaches and Zergling are running straight on into Center's base, doing a lot of damage. The Natural has already been evacuated. And here comes all those roaches and Zerglings now pressuring up at the front. Can the SCVs keep it repaired? Can he save himself from losing his main base as well?
How many workers died there in that counter with the Hellbats?
4 and 7.
So not terrible. Looks like he's still trying to get some damage done with the Hellbats, but Jaedong essentially shutting down this natural expansion. A lot of SCVs still alive, it seems, from Center. Retreated a lot of those back into his main base, so Jaedong is going to back up eventually as Center able to get that siege tank on the high ground, so that's going to be safe for now. Going to be tracking down some units there at the 3rd base, the potential 3rd base of Center, and I think Jaedong's going to be fine with his position. He's up 100 to 73 in supply, adding on some more drones to replace the ones he lost. And now he's adding on double Evo chambers, and I'm sure he's going to take that 3rd hatchery fairly soon.
And yeah, I mean, he's already up that 1 base. The poor other base here for Center is just barely looking like it wants to get started back up, but Jaedong can easily just reapply pressure with the Nidus Worm giving instant reinforcements here for Zerg. It's like warp in for Zerg, basically. And I love it. He's not trying to be sneaky with it. He's just putting it plain out there in between the natural and the 3rd base. A little bit more harassment.
Jaedong at 3rd base here, though. He's been piling over 300 for the past 2 minutes. And he just started his upgrades. If he started at 3rd base earlier, he could have it up by now, and he'd be much more ahead than kind of being ahead and kind of even, because the worker count isn't actually that different. The only difference is that he's not actually mining for his natural, and the mules haven't been called down. But soon that economy is going to go back in Terran's favor once he gets saturation down.
Soon, trademark. All right, so we have a nice little units lost tab coming up here right now. Jaedong has lost more units, but of course he's Zerg, so that doesn't really matter because he's still ahead in that tab. Looking at the production tab, we have Burrow on the way, as well as a Spire and 2 more hatcheries. A little bit of damage going on over here. Oh, that's it, the Viking hanging out over here, taking out those Overlords.
Yeah, always a good thing to get that Viking. Hunt down Overlords, also potentially create you know, pathways for your medevacs to start getting that damage done. Roach is continually trying to deny this natural expansion, but Center able to get that up and running. And Jaedong has essentially stopped making roaches, it looked like, instead focusing on the drones. Looks like saving some gas, you know, for whatever's going to come out of the Spire.
That siege tank saved. That siege tank
I really like
saved.
what Jaedong's doing, though. He actually has a Spire, and the medevac actually scouted, so I don't think he noticed that the Spire is down, though. He's not really making any turrets. He doesn't have a Thor out. I think he doesn't actually know that he scouted it, so... But with this creep, he can't take the 3rd base, and the roaches are containing for such a long time that what Jaedong's doing right now is just trying to make sure the Terran can't move out, and with Mutas, the potential for Terran to move out is pretty much non-existent.
Yep.
I'm absolutely in love with the creep tumors that are being put down at the third base. That has got to be such a pain to deal with as Terran. Sure, overlords are kind of annoying, but creep tumors are even worse. Because that forces not only the units to go over there, deal with it, but also a scan as well.
So you see +1 flyer attacks underway here from Jaedong, but yet to see any mutas in that production tab.
And
we'll definitely keep an eye on that.
Another note, no upgrades for center at all.
Yeah, I'm really surprised he transitions into bio because he had the armor ready. He didn't start any upgrades on the armor, so it was kind of obvious he was going to go for bio, but I don't think it was the right choice. And Jaedong actually contaminated the stim, and he has mutas coming out, so that means the stim's going to be even more delayed. And still, the turrets are just coming up, and he should actually be fine, except for the natural. The natural has no defense whatsoever, and the Zerg's going to see the Terran moving out here, and this is the best time for a Zerg to go in with Mutalisk. But he can also use this to defend and kill the medevac, so either way, I think Jaedong's in a commanding lead.
Jaedong is getting absolutely everything a Zerg possibly could ever want in mobility. He's got Mutalisks, he's got Nidus Worm technology, he's got speed, he's got even Ventral Sack, so he can even do drops if he's so pleased.
And he clean
He's
up
gonna be
this
the
push,
Zerg that's
though.
everywhere.
Looks like Center just going to pick up and get out of there with the most units. Going to redeploy outside of these tanks, but Jaedong has way too much. Going to be engaging with all these Lings, Roaches, and Mutas. Going to clean up this army, and this is so important because this is a drop that's kind of meant to deny the 4th/3rd of Jaedong, and behind this Jaedong, he's getting those saturates, getting those gases. His economy is going to be booming as this game continues forward. He's even a counterattack, might even be able to deny the 3rd base of his opponent. Going to go straight to the natural expansion. Not sure about this trade, but going to try to kill these Marines. He might just barely have enough. No, looks like the Marines are going to be able to take care of these units.
And you know what's awesome here about Jaedong's attack is it doesn't matter if he loses all these forces. He knows that this is such a struggle for center to get any of these forces up. For Jaedong, this is just a walk in the park. He's got 4 bases up. He can resupply with whatever he wants. As soon as he takes out whatever tech that seems counterintuitive to his army, I mean, he can just resupply with a completely different army. If he needs to go for drops, if he needs to go for mutas, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. And Jaedong was actually going for killing timing because he actually took +1 attacks on the Roaches instead of going for the Zerglings early. So he knew there was some timing he could abuse him. But the contamination on the stim, that push by the Terran was, to be blunt, completely off. I don't know why he went out. He knew that the mutas were coming. He knew that he had Roach speed and upgrades. There's no reason for him to go out.
Yeah, I mean, you know, Jaedong just doing a great job getting those 4 bases up and then shutting that push. Because if that push does any damage whatsoever, or if it denies the 3rd, then center kind of gets back into the game. But, you know, Jaedong able to shut down the 3rd base of center for so long that I felt like center kind of felt like he had to get something done. And he's kind of right, like, he kind of does have to do something. You can't just let a Zerg get 4 bases while you're limited to 2 and trying to get your 3rd, because then you're just going to fall further and further behind. So just a great play overall from Jaedong. Of course, that started with the build order is kind of selected by both players. We saw the early Hellbat drop attempted, but also from Jaedong, we had that early Roach Nidus play, which is really cool. Able to apply pressure to the natural at the same time being able to retreat back and defend against the drop play.
That was just absolutely beautiful. I mean, all of his forces were in the Zerg's base. So when there's a Nidus Worm, you have instant transportation to the absolute other side of the map instantaneously, and now all of those forces are going to be doing, what, absolutely nothing to help defend yourself. So Jaedong, reading that situation to a T, and was able to take perfect advantage of that. So well done.
He's going to take the 1-0 advantage in this best of 3, of course. This is Axel Toss and Sham 2. We got Mouse Illusion on the line. Loving having you here with that additional analysis. So, guys, stay tuned. We'll have Game 2 coming up between Jaedong and Center. Don't go anywhere.